What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. In today's video we got a 2003 Toyota Camry. We're gonna do the front strut. So what I did here was I brushed this guy up right here. Usually a lot of corrosion on this is no good. As much as you can brush, it's a good idea. Throw some penetration oil on that. Tools we're gonna need today is a 12mm. I'm using this drill here, electric impact. 12mm 3/8 drive. We got an impact gun, 22mm. We got a 22mm wrench. You can have adjustable wrench, it's up to you. 17mm and a hammer. And I'm gonna go get this crappy flathead or Phillips head screwdriver, just that. So once we push this guy right through, it will hold it for us in place. If you got a floor jack, you can have that down in the bottom. Wood block, anything will work. So let's get this job cranking. You do need a little torch too, mini torch. So we're gonna remove this. Very simple. We're gonna get this guy off. 12mm comes right off. So I did order some assembly struts, Monroe. We're gonna take this off first, but we need to heat it. So we're gonna heat this guy right here. So we got this propane tank here. 35 bucks. Years back I paid for it. These cans are like 30 bucks. They give you this with it. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna control the flame. So if you're reusing the linkage here like I am, you don't want to heat the boot. You don't want to go crazy with the heat. So I want to make this nice and hot. Give it a good couple of minutes. I might turn my camera off in between. We don't want this thing getting stuck. You can also use an Allen key and a wrench in the middle. That's all up to you. But if you're gonna use impact, if you don't have impact, it's gonna be very difficult. Too much force. I would always recommend you change the linkages with the strut. So if you want to change the linkages, it's all up to you. So this customer had it done. That's why we're leaving it alone. I know it's too much talking, but I can't just be silent here. So we took this off. We took that off. This guy just comes right off. And you're just going to have to grab it from right here and just pull down from the edge here. So this is like that. All you do is do this and it pops right off. And you don't want these lines stretching. So keep an eye on it. I'm also going to get a 10mm. I forgot. I'm going to remove the 10mm right there. And that should protect this little guy from being ripped apart. So I'll go get a 10mm in a little bit. And we'll do that. So add that to your list, 10mm. So this should be nice and toasty by now. I'm going to give it another minute or so. And then we'll just attempt to take this guy off. The hotter, the better. Try to heat the nut instead of the stud inside. So the nut can expand a bit and free up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this off. Oh, I forgot the pry bar. I gotta go get a pry bar. That's another tool that you're gonna need. So if you can get yourself a pry bar, let me grab this little guy. Put right in back of it so you can put force onto the sway bar linkage from the behind rear end. That's gonna give a better chance for this nut to come off just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. It's nice and hot, don't touch it. So we're gonna just release this and let it just sit. And that stays there. Okay, next step, we're gonna get our 10mm and I'm gonna remove that guy right there. So add a pry bar and a 10mm to your list. So this little guy right here comes right off, it fell on the ground. That's fine. Okay, so right and left strut is different. Just pay attention to this sway bar mount and this mount. So they can't be on the opposite side, and they're definitely wrong. So next step, we're gonna take off the 22mm nuts there, and we're gonna end this bit down. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch up our socket to a 22mm. So 22 fits on it perfectly. And what you wanna do is you want to hold this guy and put your impact on the other side counterclockwise. It comes right off. So I want to tell you guys one thing. Right now is a good time to take this guy off. Take your screwdriver, throw that in, because that's going to hold it in place for you. Once you don't even have to do it yet till you take, before you take off the bottom bolt. You see that? How the load is gonna sit on this screwdriver. Once I take this off, it's all gonna sit on this, okay? Even though you don't need to, but I would put it anyway. So we're gonna get a floor jack. I'm gonna put that in the bottom, and we're gonna bring the car down and take off the 3 bolts on the top. So I need to take off 1, 2, 3 bolts. This is the strut mount. You do not take that one off if you order the assembly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this with one hand, and I'm gonna take off the screwdriver at about this time. I want to put the floor jack. I want to let the floor jack touch the control arm, and we'll continue from there. So my floor jack is right on the control arm. I should be able to take this off, and what I want to do is, so remember, we release all this, nothing can get yanked over here, okay? And this thing's gonna just sit there. I'm gonna grab this one with one hand while I take off 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3 bolts, not 4. 1, 2, 3, the triangle. 1, 2, 3. Oh, here goes nothing. My camera's kind of crappy in one angle. So I want to loosen this and just leave it there. And I want to loosen this guy, and I want to take off this completely. I'm going to leave this one behind because it's the easiest one. And I'm going to get this off. So I like to reuse these bolts instead of the bolts that come with it, because these are nice and strong. Just match up your thread before you go crazy with it. Make sure you put it by hand, it catches on. And there goes nothing. So it's time for me to release this last one over here. But now I need to keep my hand in the bottom, because you can't just let this thing just fall to the ground. I like to push it up a bit from the bottom. Both our hands. This moment of truth. I'm gonna let it sit kind of a little bit on the. So this is loose. We're gonna look down here so you guys can see right here what I'm doing right here. It's gonna be kind of crappy, but all I want to do here is I'm gonna grab this guy and I'm gonna turn it to one side and bring it right out, and there you go. There's the strut that's shot. Anyways, we gotta get the new one now. So here's struts here. Quick struts is what I'm using. So this is the passenger side. There's a part number here, so they are different part number. This is the passenger side. If you check these out, bases, you will see. And here's the driver's side. So if you want a driver's side, there's the part number there. Monroe quick struts. We're gonna take this. It comes with the new bolts. Like I told you guys, I'm not using those bolts. So we're gonna take this baby to the Camry here. So if you put this side by side, just like that, you will see, look at the base, look at the base. That's all you need to pay attention to, where the strut base is, where the 12mm bolt is. And we're gonna put this baby on. Also pay attention, you see this? You see how this is curved out? So this is the back end of the strut. So this bolt right here. So if you gotta remove this, okay? This doesn't stay there. So you see how this is the high end, high point. So this gotta go into the back. So it's pretty much, this is how it is. This is the center, and this is the high end in the back. So pretty much the high end is gonna be on this side facing that way. And this is the bolt I showed you, the high end bolt here. So that's how that goes. It's very simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and stick it in, and I'm gonna grab the 3 bolts from the top. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm gonna grab the strut. I'm gonna stick it from the bottom, and it shouldn't be that difficult. You could use the axle to give you some support there, but remember, my floor jack might be a little too high, so I'm gonna let the floor jack release a bit, and that's it. It should be more than enough. And then this guy will go right in. Remember, I'm gonna use the old nuts here. So once you got one, you can let it go. All you need to do is play around with it. And remember, the back of the strut, the rear end is higher than the front. If you twist it, it might be at the wrong position. Make sure that's there. This bolt is pre-locked, so we don't touch that either. So now we're gonna go in the bottom. So we're gonna let the floor jack do the magic for us. So what I'm gonna do here is the floor jack is holding everything in position for me. So what I just wanna simply do here is I wanna grab at least 1 bolt. And once you have the 1 bolt in, the second one should be really easy. Remember, they went this way. It doesn't matter if you get it this way or that way. It does not matter. But try to get it the same way. So I barely made any effort. The hardest effort I made here was trying to get the strut up on the top, 3 bolts. So let's see if this catches. Pumping jack here and there. I really can't see because the light that I need is for the camera. A little bit more. There you go. That should be the spot right there. Should go right in now. There you go. Once that one bolt in, the second one should just go on its own. Now we're gonna go up with the wiggle. Okay, so we're gonna take our second bolt here. So now since one is in, all you need to do is wiggle this around, and the second bolt should find its spot. And once you have that in, all you need to do is just be careful with these lines. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. That wasn't just a tap, tap, tap. I don't know what that was. Okay. There you go. A little bit extra tap. That's what that is. On the back. And that's it. Once it's in a little bit, the rest of it should be the job of your impact. So, just gathering some bolts here. This job is like pretty much done here. So 22 millimeter. Just go in a little bit more. Careful with the lines. When you're tapping, you don't want to tap because once you hit them, they're done. They'll snap right from the middle. So we're gonna take this baby. It's stuck on the other side. So if you're trying to force it, it might be stuck on the opposite side. So I'm gonna go get the bolt for that. And do not forget. Well, we'll work on that side in a little bit. So let me get some more tools. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to lock up this bolt. So this will mess with your alignment a little bit, so you can probably push in and out. There's no marking anything here because every strut is different. A lot of people say, oh, mark it, but it won't help you. Lock it up real nice and tight. Same thing there. This job is like pretty much well done already, so make sure you grab the 14 millimeter here. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna put a little bit of lube because this can get stuck. Okay, you don't want this baby to be stuck. A little bit of penetrating oil there. And 17 millimeter nut goes on this. And make sure you catch the threads. So I'm gonna move my camera to one side a little bit because I need spacing on the opposite side. I'm gonna switch up my socket. Pry bar has to come handy one more time because it's not gonna go on its own. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the camera a bit, okay, and bring the camera to the side here. And our lighting right here is perfect. So same thing, go from the back end. This better be nice and tight, or you will have click click noise. Anyways, this job is pretty much all well done. I do need to do a brake job here. So the top two bolts, I am gonna do them, but we're gonna wait a bit. Well, you will see it in the video anyway. So remember, this goes in first. This little guy goes in right here, and then this goes on the top, and then your 12 millimeter goes on top of that. Make sure you catch the threads. And 10 millimeter, I know I dropped it on the floor. Good luck to me finding it, so give me a moment. So here's my 10 millimeter. So you gotta take this guy in, stick that in. That's what holds this guy in place so it doesn't move around. Anyways, that's that in. I'm gonna go get my tool. So pretty much, bada bing, bada boom. 12 millimeter. Make sure your lines are nice and straight. Nothing is crossing, nothing's gonna hit. So this is all done. Now we're gonna go up on the top. But we're gonna put the wheel on and we're gonna let the car sit on the ground so all the weight is pushing it. Prior to that, I'll do my brakes, whatever I gotta do. Wheel hits the ground, all the studs should come up, and we're gonna lock up all these. Again, like I said, I used the old bolts here because I liked them, and I just had bad experience with the other ones. But these are some solid stuff, so just lock them up, and that's all you need to do. Make sure you do the same thing on the opposite side. And the rear is a little bit different, but I do got a video on a Lexus ES300, which is about similar. I do got videos on the rear shocks struts on that, and you can check that out. So this is bada bing, bada boom, nice and tight. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye. See you guys on the next one.